Yay!
Yay!
Hi, everybody!
Surprise!
Yay! It worked. Hi,
Yes!
everybody. Thank you so much for being so patient. Oh,
Really good content.
technical difficulties.
Waiting. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. I'm so pleased. I'm so glad this worked because we have so many people registered for this webinar and so many of you here live. I would be very, very sad to have to say, like, sorry, we can't do it. Anyway. Yay, everybody. All right, so let me also just underline for all of you, if part of the reason you are delaying on moving forward on that which is important to you is because you think there's going to be technical difficulties, or you think you're going to break something, or you think something's going to go wrong, I'm here to guarantee you it will.
It will.
It will go wrong.
It will go wrong.
But that's no reason to not do it. So, hi, everybody. My name is Sam Bennett from the Organized Artist Company, and this is my beautiful head coach and team leader, Leonore Chia.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm so delighted. You all are here because you feel stuck, you feel overwhelmed, you feel trapped, you feel afraid of failure, you feel afraid of success, you feel afraid of asking for the money, you feel afraid of being a fraud, you feel afraid of visibility, you feel, what else did I put down here from you guys? Trapped by clutter, trapped by family, trapped by health stuff. Trapped by old stories, trapped by boredom, entropy, not a lack of direction, fear of things getting out of control. Like, what if I do this and then it works and then my whole life goes gangbusters? Fear of letting people down. Okay, so is this ringing a bell for any of you? All of you? I want to underline two things for you before we do our breathing and start. One is, notice that everyone is afraid of these things. Everyone is afraid of these things. Everyone has the exact same concerns that you have. Everyone is afraid of failure. Everyone is afraid of making the wrong choice. Everyone is afraid of looking like a fool. Everyone's like, that's everybody. So I want you just to take all these excuses, all these reasons, and just put them aside. Just because it sounds to me like, because I talk to you all the time and I deal with my own concerns all the time, it's like you're saying, well, I would move forward on my projects, but there's this breathing in and out that I have to do, and there's gravity that's holding me to the earth. I have to eat a couple of times a day. It's like, you guys, that's everybody. Everybody has to breathe. Everybody's dealing with gravity. Everybody has to eat. Like, that's the story. So to understand that mental chatter, that those feelings, that terror, all that stuff that feels so real is in fact just the human condition. It's just the human condition. It's not you. It's not low self-esteem. It's not a sign you shouldn't do it. It's just the water we swim in. So take a little realization of that, like, oh, Sam is insecure too. Leonore feels insecure too. Everyone else on this call feels insecure too. Emmy Award winners, Academy Award winners, super famous people. I was just at a party last night with some super famous, successful people. They deal with these exact insecurities too. So we're just going to cross all those off the list as an excuse. And we're going to start to find some new ways to deal with them. Tiffany says, me too. I know, right? Okay. So let's do our breathing. And then I'm going to give you some tools, some start right where you are tools. We're going to talk about an incredibly low cost offer that I have for you that if you're interested in will feel really fun. And if you're not, is no big deal. Yeah. And then I'm going to answer as many of your questions as I can before my voice goes out. So you ready? Let's start with our breathing. So those of you who've worked with me before know that I love to do a little breathing thing. What's the word for that? That's an inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And we're going to do that 3 times, and I'll talk us through it. So if you want to take this opportunity to let your shoulders drop down and back a little bit. I don't know about you, but the hunch, the computer phone hunch is getting to me. So opening up here just a little bit. Let your belly go really poochy soft. Let your hands go soft and let your hands open up in an attitude of receiving. You give so much to the world. You give so much to the people in your life. This is a moment for you to receive effortlessly, gracefully, graciously receive. can soften your jaw. You can soften your gaze. Give yourself a little Mona Lisa smile. Soften your heart. There's a physiological effect that happens when you give yourself this little half smile, when you let yourself release just a little bit. And that's enhanced when we do some breathing. So you're ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Thank you for doing that with me. I want you to notice how you feel right now compared to how you felt 45 seconds ago. What's happening in your body? What's happening in your mind? What happened to your voice? I often do this, and then people go, ah, right. Ah. This is the state, this calm, centered, breathing, aware, awake, peaceful state is the state in which we want to embrace our life. This is the state from which true productivity can happen. I think we often confuse productivity and adrenaline. You can be productive without being stressed out. You can be productive and busy without the story of busy and stressed out. When you keep your breathing going, when you stay in the center of yourself and don't get pulled off into every little direction, you can be busy like a trapeze artist is busy, just gracefully and purposefully moving from one thing to the next. You can be busy like a neurosurgeon is busy, focused and clear, not dealing with the extraneous stuff, only dealing with the important stuff. And you can imagine that if you were to go through your day that way, things would change, and in a really great way. So that's what Start Right Where You Are, the book, is about. Start right where you are, how little changes can make a big difference for overwhelmed procrastinators, frustrated overachievers, and recovering perfectionists. It's a lot of little tiny chapters. Some of them are just a page or two, and they all have a little action step, a little something you can do. But the foundation of it is exactly that breathing. And that's, in fact, the first tool I want to give you is that 4-7-8 breathing. I've been doing it for years. You guys in classes know I start all my classes with this. And it's a reset button. And it's available to you all the time. You can always do it. I do it in the car. I do it in the Trader Joe's. I do it when I'm bored. I do it when I'm stressing out. I do it. I hear from my friends who have insomnia that it's great for insomnia. I've done it with friends when they're freaking out. It's just a really simple, elegant tool to get you back into the middle of your own life. And for those of you who feel like, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time for a prayer and meditation practice. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time for that. Okay, maybe, you do have time. You're just spending it on other things, but you have time to breathe because you're doing that anyway. So bringing a little intentionality and a little clarity to your breathing and to your presence is what's going to make the difference for you. Cloud is asking, do you exhale through your mouth or nose, and does it make a difference? Whatever, I'm sure experts would have opinions about that. I don't particularly. I think I inhale through my nose and exhale through my mouth. And I often also will put my tongue right behind my front teeth, or something about that connection. I don't know. But experiment, see what works for you, right? Patrice says, thanks, Sam. Knowing that I don't need adrenaline to get creative helps a lot. Yeah, exactly. In fact, adrenaline can be the enemy of creative productivity because it gets you so hyped up and then you're so crashed out afterwards. Good. So the idea that we're working with here is that tiny shifts can make a big difference. And I am starting to be of the opinion that tiny shifts are the only thing that can make a big difference. And I think it's part of what's keeping you all stuck is because you think about the big changes you want in your life. And so you start to locate your happiness in the future. You start to locate your happiness in not in the present moment, but in something big that's outside of you. So, you know, it'll be okay when I publish my book, when I get my business up and going, when I can clear this clutter, if I can hit this goal weight, if I can meet this person, if I can have this happen or make this amount of money, then it'll be okay. And I used to think that too. But that's false. You may have noticed that sometimes you hit those goals and sometimes you don't, but it's still never okay. You're not experiencing that peacefulness inside of yourself because it's not located in the future. It's located in the present moment, by which I mean this present moment, now, not now today, now. It's the only thing that exists is this present moment, right? The past is just a bunch of movies that we're running inside of our mind. It's not happening right now. The future is just a bunch of movies that we're running inside of our mind. It's not happening right now either. This is what's happening now. And it's the only thing that's happening now. So it must be good. It must be right. You must be doing it perfectly. So this is my second tool for you. You are doing everything just right. You have been living your life perfectly up to now. You are perfectly positioned to get exactly what you want, to do exactly what you want. Nothing about you should change. You don't need to be a different person. You don't need to be braver or smarter or more decisive or more mathematical or more anything. You're perfect. You are perfectly designed to be you. And you have been leading the perfect life to get you to here. And this position right now is the perfect thing, the perfect place to move forward into your perfect future. And the phrase that I want to use, want to share with you to help you sort of cement this in is this. Ready? Nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. So tool number 1, 4-7-8 breathing. Tool number 2, nothing bad is happening. Let's unpack this nothing bad is happening thing. I say this a lot. My team says it to me a lot. I can't get into the webinar jam. Leonard's like, nothing bad is happening. I'm like, right, nothing bad is happening. And I hear from my clients and students, they start to say it to themselves a lot. I was just talking to a girlfriend last night. She's like, I spent all Thanksgiving quoting you. She's like, I'm trapped in my house with my family for 12 days. And all I could think of was, nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. So here's what I mean when I say nothing bad is happening. Here's what happens for me when I think nothing bad is happening. Partly it reaffirms my faith, my belief. Like either we believe in a benevolent universe or we don't. Right? So if we believe that God is great all the time, if we believe that the universe is conspiring for us all the time, if we believe that, you know, this is a good and welcoming place, then everything that's happening must be good and welcoming. It may not feel good. It may not be what we would pick for ourselves, but over the long haul, you know, from a macro perspective, it must be good. So therefore, nothing bad is happening. So that's step 1. The other thing that happens to me when I think nothing bad is happening is it makes me get a little more precise in my language about exactly what is happening. Like what's happening? Is something unplanned happening? Is something uncomfortable happening? Is something physically painful happening? Is something challenging happening is something that is not what I had planned for it to be like this happening. Like, what is happening? So to get more precise in your language, because this, you all are guilty of this. Your questions were amazing and thrilling to me, but there was a lot of like, what are you procrastinating on? Everything. What's getting in your way? Everything. What do you want to do? So many things. Like, you get really generalized in your vocabulary, and it's really hard to move forward when you're talking about everything. Right? So if everything feels overwhelming, well, if nothing bad is happening, again, what is happening? What specifically is happening? And how do you want to choose to address it? Is it outside of your control? Is it something over which you have no control? Like the weather or the turbulence in the airplane or someone else's behavior? If it's something over which you have no immediate control, then you have to surrender. You have to. The only response to the inevitable is relaxation. And when I say, do you have control over it? I mean, is it something that that's happening inside of you, inside of your own mind, that you can control? Or is it something within your ability to touch, like your sphere of influence right now? That's what's in your control. So I want you to take your focus off of the things you can't control, other people's behavior, world events, weather, aging, whatever else, and move your focus to that which you can control. So it makes me remember that the world's good, the universe is a benevolent place. It makes me think, well, okay, if nothing bad is happening, what is happening? And it also pushes me to find the invitation and the blessing and the opportunity in whatever it is that's happening. And this is like, we're now in spiritual graduate school, you and me. This is not a beginner's thought. This is, but you guys are sophisticated enough to get this. I know you are. Because I don't mean like, oh, it's all good, or everything happens for a reason. Like, I don't, like, oh, pink glasses, put a Post-it note on the mirror and just manifest. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm making fun of people and I shouldn't. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what I notice is that everything that shows up to me as a mistake or a screw up or something is in fact an opportunity and an invitation. So think about what's happening for you that doesn't feel like it's good, right? What's happening for you where you feel like, okay, nothing bad is happening, except this, Sam, this is really bad. This health concern that I'm having is really not good. Or this, world situation is really, that's bad. It's bad. I know you say it's not bad, but it's bad, right? So what's happening for you that you feel like, I don't really buy that it's not bad? And where are you being called forward? What is the invitation for you in this thing that feels bad? Are you being asked to be a better communicator? Are you being asked to be a more powerful person, a person with better boundaries? Are you asked to be a better boss, a better mom, a better, more faithful servant? Are you being asked to be a better lover? Are you being asked to be more compassionate? Are you being asked to be more faithful? Are you being asked to say no even though it hurts you? Are you being asked to give up an old habit? What is being asked of you? And I promise you that when you start looking at the obstacles in your life as the invitations in your life, everything will change. This is another one of these little 1-degree shifts. It's like this, dink. It's just a little tiny shift. So you don't have to be a different person. The circumstances of your life don't have to be different. You just have to start thinking about what's happening in a different way. So you've got this giant pile of clutter and you're thinking, that's not good. Okay, what's the invitation? What's the invitation into a new way of interacting with stuff? Where's your, your fast pass? Where's your advanced degree? Where's your, where's the opportunity for you to do something differently than you've ever done it before? And to experiment and to play and to be less hard on yourself and maybe less hard of other people, less hard on other people. Nothing bad is happening. A friend of mine's husband just got laid off right before the holidays, right? And she said normally she would go into like this hand wringing, oh no, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, the fact of the matter is that job was really stressing him out and it didn't pay all that much. So she found herself like going immediately to, well, what if nothing bad is happening? What is happening? She's like, oh, what is happening is we get to spend spend all this time together. Like he's going to be home. That's great. And what else is happening? I can't wait to see what opportunities come for him next. So like all of a sudden she's slightly elated that her husband has just lost his job. That's a little change that can make a big difference. That's a little change that can make a big difference. And it also just snaps me out of it. Nothing bad is happening. Some of you heard me tell this story about one day I was traveling. I had a really long travel day and everything went wrong. The plane broke down, so we missed our connection. There was a blizzard. We got redirected. Like the luggage got lost. It was a very long, exhausting day of travel. And right at the beginning of it, right when it was really ramping up to be awful, the mechanical difficulty, we're online to get rebooked. And this woman walks by me on a cell phone. She walks next to me and I hear her say, well, there's mechanical difficulties. This is a nightmare. I was like, a nightmare? I don't think it's a nightmare. Like we're inside, we're fed, we're warm. It's okay. You actually can get across the country in a day. That's amazing. Like, actually, this is not a nightmare. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. It's not what I would have picked. It's not my favorite way to spend the day, but is it bad? No, it's not bad. And do you think when I got up to the front counter to this poor airline woman who had just been dealing with an entire, plane full of disgruntled people, like she and I had a really nice chat. Like we had a really nice exchange because I wasn't treating this like something bad was happening. I was treating this like, okay, this is happening. You're here to help. I'm here to help. What can we do? And I had a lot of really great conversations that day. And it was so helpful just to it's so easy to slide into that, oh, I'm so tired and I hate standing in line and this travel and I'm like, wait a minute. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to be more patient. This is an opportunity to people watch. This is an opportunity to, see how the airlines run. And I got to say, crazy, nuts the way they run these places, right? Good. Leonore, I know you've been working sometimes with this nothing bad is happening idea. Is anything popping up for you as I'm talking about this?
Just, yeah, total similarity. It really reforms the holiday gatherings. So I want to underline the timely nature of this mantra, given the season we're about to go into. Yeah, I think it's just the ultimate perspective taker,
Yeah.
And it's amazing how when you just come at situations from a place of calm, it calms other people down.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And giving up that idea that somehow being worried or being stressed out is like a more responsible thing to do. Mm-hmm. In the same way that we have that belief of like, oh, if I'm really hard on myself, that makes me more motivated or more productive. No, false thinking, false logic. Notice that that's not a good strategy. It doesn't work. You yelling at yourself does not make you more productive. You being worried and stressed out over things you can't control does not make things better. Mm-hmm. You being calm, you being centered, you staying awake and aware and alert to the opportunities in life, that makes things better. That makes things better. Tiffany's saying, I can confirm she truly lives this. It's true. Tiffany's on my team and she knows that I truly live this. And I'll actually tell you a little story about this. So earlier this year, so some of you know, this book, I sold this book in December of last year, like almost exactly a year ago. And they said, the publishing company said, great, can we have the manuscript at the end of January? And I said, no, but you can have it at the end of February. So I wrote it in about 9 weeks. And while I'm still running this business full time, while it's the holidays, while my father's 75th birthday in South Carolina, like everything else that everybody else is dealing with, I had to deal with too. And I'm getting the book out. I finished, I send the manuscript off. And at that point, we were also launching the Get It Done workshop. Some of you have done the Get It Done workshop. That's the workshop the first book was based on. And we're promoting it. It's the first day. I think we were starting on a Wednesday. It's the first class. I teach the first class. It goes great. This is so much fun. I end the first class. We're doing it on live like this on Webinar Jam. And I open up my email, and there's a ton of emails from people going like, weren't we starting today? Wasn't today the first class? And I'm like, oh no, this is not good. So I checked with Tiffany and the team, and it turned out there was a glitch in our reminder campaign, the timing, a timer glitch, so that some of the people who had registered for the course got the information about here's our first class, here's the login, and some people didn't. Now, you may have noticed that my business is called the Organized Artist Company. Like, this is not great. It's not great for any business. It's particularly not great for us. But I said, okay, well, it happened. And if nothing bad is happening, then let's assume that something good is happening. I'll tell you what, I'll teach the first class again on Saturday. We'll just have a little do-over, call it a mulligan, do-over. People, if they want to do the first class twice, great. People who missed the first one can come in. And oh, by the way, this gives us a couple of extra days to promote the course, right? So I start sending emails saying, hey, by the way, we're starting again on Saturday. So if you had been interested in joining us and didn't, you still have another chance. And the email that I sent about that was one I had been thinking about for a while, about a guy who had written me and said like, yeah, your stuff works, but it's just motivational speaking, and it doesn't really have any lasting effect. And I'd written him back to say, actually, I think it does. Not for everybody. For about 80% of the people, this is kind of just entertainment. But for about 20% of the people, this stuff really works. And I see it all the time. People transform their relationships. They get their dream job. They publish their books. They create a business. They feel better about themselves. I see it all the time. So I wrote this email, and as I was writing it, I was like, oh, this is the way the book needs to start. So I sent an email to my editor, like, wait, I need the manuscript back. Like, hold on. So I get the manuscript back. I put this new piece of writing in that I would never have created if we hadn't had to postpone the class. And now this book starts in a much more compelling way. And thousands and thousands of people, Get It Done has sold 15,000, 12,000 copies, something like that. Thousands and thousands of people are going to get some access into this wisdom that they never would have had if my timers had been scheduled properly. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. But if I spend all my time grousing and griping about like, Infusionsoft, and my team, and the timers, and right? Where would that get me? Miserable. I would be miserable. The team would be miserable. You would be miserable. The people who didn't get to enroll in the class would be miserable. And the people starting the book, well, they probably wouldn't be miserable, but they wouldn't get as good of a bang as they do right now. Right? Good. So speaking of start right where you are, this is great. You guys are making a lot of really nice comments, and I'm sorry I'm not repeating them. This is great. This things that are happening may not feel good, right? But just because it doesn't feel good, or just because it's uncomfortable, doesn't mean it's not good. People saying, so I so needed this today. Yep. Hi, love your book. Oh, thank you so much. I feel more relaxed already. Excellent. Good. Am I selling autographed copies? Just if you come to a live event. So I've got a live event in Sherman Oaks on Saturday, the 3rd, tomorrow. And I've got one in Emeryville up in the Bay Area in January. If you go to startrightwhereyouare.com, actually, let's just float that offer. Actually, this is just as good of a time to do that as any. I can't get that. Can you see if you can put the offer up?
Done.
Thanks. So here's the offer. This is super simple. in honor of the publication of the book, and because I'm super excited, you can take the Start Right Where You Are workshop, which is the 6-week teleclass. We're going to do it live on like this on video, that starts next week, and it's 6 sessions. You also get a year in the 365 Club. You also get a bunch of other bonuses, and not 1, not 2, but 3 copies of the book mailed to your home or your place of business. So you get the workshop, you get the 3 books, you get a bunch of other bonuses. It's about $700 worth of value, and you get it for $97. $97. I know, it's crazy. It's kind of like, I'm not exactly making money on this, but I don't care because I'm so happy to have the book out. Will be recorded. Yes. It's all the sessions will be recorded, and you'll have lifetime access to them. So you can not only watch them whenever you want, but you can also go back to them. And on the 365 Club Facebook page, it's a great community there. So you can gather and join and talk to other people and get feedback and get your questions answered. The sessions are on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. the same time, 10 a.m. Pacific. And there's Wednesday, December 7th to January 11th. We're going to go right through the holidays because the Wednesdays are actually not on Christmas or New Year's. And it's real, and that's purposeful. Like, I really want to help keep you centered and guided and plugged in during the holidays. I don't want you to check out. I don't want you to get numb. I want you to relax. I want you to celebrate. I want you to have the holiday you want to have. But it's an amazing opportunity to recalibrate your inner compass and not only get through the holidays in a really graceful, calm way, but get through, but set up 2017 in a way that really feels great to you. You're a very generous person. I appreciate it. Thank you. My pleasure. It's my joy to be generous. I love it. Will it be recorded? Yes. We can see it. It's a great offer. It is a great offer, I gotta say. Usha says, read your new book on the plane 10 days ago. Loved it and timely for me. Oh, I'm so glad. Thanks, Usha. Centered during the holidays. Oh yeah, right? Oh yeah. And I'll tell you guys what, if you buy during this live broadcast, so if you're watching the recording, this does not apply to you, but if you buy during this live broadcast, just to give you a little incentive to jump, I will also give you a Mind PT session that I made with my friends at Mind PT, which is like an online meditation app, kind of. It flashes these images and affirmations at you that I wrote. It normally sells for $47. It's a great little tool. Like, it's an amazing little tool. And they're in the middle of some studies that are showing very real scientific effects, not like real science. Like, real scientists are proving that this actually has an effect on your body and mind. Gail says, I work full time. Will this interfere with it? No, I don't think so. I mean, this is not, this isn't a course like it's like school, like homework, right? It's an hour, 75 minutes of inspiration, of tools, of mindset tricks, of just ways for you to start to approach your life differently. So it's not like there's homework, and I'll tell you a story in a little bit about how this can help your job. Somebody else asked about financial issues. Where was this? Claude says, just reading your book, Get It Done, really helped me declutter my studio. And as I was decluttering, I found stuff I'd been looking for a while. So it does work. That's great. I'm so glad. Am I coming to the East Coast? I don't have plans right now, but that's not to say it won't happen. Let's see. Recommendations for the movie Happy. Great. I haven't seen it, but yes. Somebody was asking a question about a Byron Katie book. Oh, there it is. Keisha says, this reminds me of Byron Katie's book. Yes, I love the work of Byron Katie, and I'm heavily influenced by her, and I totally recommend her 100%. And I wonder, how do we apply this to financial issues, i.e. a lack of money? Right. Good question. Okay. So it looks like there's not enough money, right? That's the presenting issue. There's not enough money. I don't have enough clients. There's not enough money. So if we say then, nothing bad is happening, and we say, where is the opportunity in this? Where am I being called forward? Am I being called forward to be braver and ask for a raise? Am I being called forward to find another source of income? Am I being called forward to actually accept the help that somebody else has been offering me that I haven't been willing to take? Am I being called forward to double my prices? Am I being called forward to be clearer in my marketing message so that people know what I'm doing more? Am I being called forward to be more visible, to be braver, to be brighter? So the problem looks like it's outside. It looks like there's not enough money, but there's plenty of money. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of clients. You may notice there's tons of money in the world. There's so much money. Do you notice this? People like spending all kinds of money on all kinds of things all the time. So it may not be in your wallet right this second, but it's there and it's not that hard to get. So the issue is not that there's a shortage of money. The issue is there's something you are doing or not doing that's keeping it away from you. And this is your great opportunity to step forward into some really fun new way of being that's going to bring in all the abundance that you need.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sam, there are a couple of questions from international folks. Do they need to pay extra for shipping?
They don't.
They don't. Okay.
They don't. And don't think that our international clients have not been taking advantage of this. We did not think about the fact that we would be shipping to Italy Brazil, and the UK and Brazil and Israel and stuff. So that's fine. It's on me. There's like a $6 shipping charge or something, and we'll handle. Like I said, I'm not really making money on this, so I'm happy to.
Yeah. Okay. So the answer, folks, is Christina, you can get the books, and yes, Martin, you do not need to pay extra. So go buy them.
That's right. Happy holidays. It's my present to you.
Nina asks, can I apply your book to procrastination issues about finishing my novel?
100%. 100%. Just so you guys know, in the what are you procrastinating on metrics, number one was work, entrepreneurship stuff, marketing, getting your new offer out. That was 37% of you were procrastinating on work related stuff. 32% of you were procrastinating on a creative project, like your novel, like your screenplay, like your needlework, whatever. 21% of you said life or everything. 21% of you said you were procrastinating on everything. I really encourage a mindset shift around that. And about 10% of you said clutter, like stuff is getting in your way. So yeah, we will deal with all of this. The courses, the first class, we talk about how to start, like the secrets to getting started. We talk about intuition, cultivating your intuition and your inner wisdom so that you're not getting paralyzed by what you think you should do, but rather by what your deep knowing helps you to know to do. We talk about perseverance and getting through the groan zone, like, because we're all like, hey, it's new. We love it when it's new. But then we get to that middle part where it's just a big drag, and or at the end when it looks like it might really happen, and then you get totally freaked out and try to kill it. So we'll talk about how to persevere through getting through a project. We talk about clutter, both mental clutter and physical clutter. We talk about fear and action and how to take action, how action is the antidote to fear and what kinds of actions are going to work for your kind of fear. And we talk about tribe. We talk about community because, this just came up in an interview yesterday, and I thought it was really interesting. The person asked me, why is it that the voice in our head, the voices that we hear that say, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? No one cares. You don't have the time. You're too busy. You're not good enough. Like all those voices are really, really loud. And the voice inside of you that says, but I really want to write a novel. Like, I think I would really like to have my own business. I think I really could help people. Why is that voice so little? I said, well, I think it's because all those negative voices, all that cultural programming is being magnified, first of all, from repetition inside of your own head. You've been saying it to yourself over and over again, so it sounds really loud. But it's also magnified by the culture, right? You hear other people saying these things. Well, nobody buys a first novel. You can't do that. That's selfish. That's weird. That's, in this economy, blah, blah, blah. So here's the thing. Conventional wisdom works for conventional people doing conventional things. So how often to get the oil changed in your car? That's a conventional thing to which you should apply conventional wisdom, like whatever it says in the manual, 5,000 miles, get the oil changed. But you writing your novel, you clearing your clutter, you having more fruitful relationships with the people in your life that you love, that's not conventional. That's individual. And there's just your one little voice against all this big megaphone voices. So you've got to really learn to tune into that little voice, because that's all anybody gets. That's all anybody gets is that little voice that says, I wonder if I could be happier. I wonder if I could be more peaceful. I wonder if I could be more productive, right? So yes, it will absolutely help with whatever, it's meant to be pretty applicable across disciplines, and both for people who could define themselves as creative and people who don't. It's not necessarily about getting your artistic projects going. Ordered. Yay! I'm so glad. The meditation app that I talked about is MindPT, MindPT.com. You can go check that out. And like I said, if you enroll during this course, I'll give you my meditation for free. And then I think you'll probably have some special offers you can get. There's a bunch of other ones. They're really kind of cool.
So Sam, just to clarify, the order form asks people for $5.95 for the shipping. And that's correct, right?
As far as I know, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yes, $97 includes this. There's a $5.95 flat rate for shipping to you, no matter where you are in the world. So I correct my error. Is that right?
Unless it's not right. No, I can't remember how we set it up. There might be a little bit more for international shipping, but it's still not very much. It's still, and if you have a problem, just email us and we'll fix it.
So Thea says, I'm out of the country December 14th to Jan 2nd. Can I still catch up? The timing isn't perfect. So I just chatted to you. You absolutely can catch up. Materials are always recorded. They're all laid out for you to work through on your own time. And I just want to say that the timing is never perfect. So note how you're just went into that a little bit, but nothing bad is happening.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The timing is completely perfect. And you can, you can listen to these anytime and often over and over again. I find people really get a lot of benefit over listening to these over and over again. I know I do too, because you know how it is. You're listening to something and then like it triggers something. You get a little idea or you get a little aha, and you're sort of off in your aha, and then you come back and you're like, oh wait, I just missed like 10 sentences. So yeah, great. Oh, ordered. I'm so pleased. That's so exciting. Let me do a few other FAQs here, and then I have my third tool that I want to give you that is like my favorite tool ever. This may be the best thing I've ever told people to do. It's this is so quickly turning into my favorite exercise of all time. Yeah.
So, yeah. Can I read a question to you, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm gonna have to jump off in a minute, but it's so great to be here with everybody. So Ilana asks, what about email overwhelm? Do you have suggestions on how to start with the thousands of emails in the inbox? Part of me wants to delete all of them, but I know.
Yes. Honey, I think if your intuition says delete all of them, then just delete all of them. Like, you're allowed. It's okay. If something's really important, they'll circle back around to you. It's fine. You don't need all that. If it's pressuring you, then let it go. I keep everything. I have tens and tens of thousands, probably 100,000 emails on my computer, because I like it. That works for me. I like to keep everything. It doesn't feel like pressure to me. It feels like, okay, I'm good because I've got everything. So yeah, and we will talk about boundaries too, and about how to manage things like email, that stuff that you feel sort of inundated by, and managing our digital world and that feeling of overwhelm. But yeah, I put an autoresponder on your email that says, hi, I check my email once a day. You can expect to hear back from me within 24 business hours. And then do that. Check your email once a day, respond to the important stuff, delete the stuff that's not important. It shouldn't take you more than half an hour to do your email every day. So that's my sort of shorthand advice, but we can look more at it in the course if you want. Oh, good. Oh, you guys are so great. I'm so glad. I previously signed up and have my 3 books. Yay. Does the offer of the Mind PT session apply to me also? Okay. Okay, fine. For the people who are already enrolled, I'll give you the Mind PT session too, because you jumped early. So yes, I'll give it to you too. I'm gonna have to email Kim and let her know that I'm doing this. But yes, that's fine. Yes, if you are already enrolled, you can have the Mind PT session too. And if you enroll during this live session, you can get the Mind PT session too. But you also there's a bunch of other bonuses. And there's 3 books. I'm sending you 3 books because there's one for you, and then one for a friend, and then one so that you can be somebody's book angel. You know how that is when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, I have the perfect book for you. And then you just get to give it to them. Leonore, thank you so much for being here. I'll keep going with questions, you guys. I love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Thanks, everyone. Looking forward to this class with you.
It's going to be super fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Bye.
So the other questions I hear sometimes are like, I'm too busy. Like, it's the holidays. I'm too busy. It's too crazy. I can't possibly do a class at this time. And what I really want to encourage you to think about is, first of all, it's an hour a week. So it's not like if you don't take this class, you're going to have an extra hour at the end of the week. And I also want to suggest to you that the dynamic, whatever it is you're saying to yourself about why you can't do it, is the thing that's keeping you stuck on your project too. So this feeling of like, oh, I can't possibly do this. Everybody needs me too much. Well, I'm going to guess that the thought everybody needs me too much is part of what's keeping you stuck on your project. It's part of what's keeping you stuck in your life. So this is a little invitation for you to change that and say, well, what if I take an hour for myself every day or once a week? What if I implement these tiny, tiny little changes? What might I see? What results might I see? Terry says, getting an error trying to sign up both Visa and PayPal. Just email the team at client care at theorganizedartistcompany.com and they will hook you up. I also sometimes I hear questions from people who've done it before, like, oh, I've already took this class. I find people really love to take it a couple of different times just because they're at a different point in their life, and I add new material in every time. The last question, and then I will get to the third tool for sure, Isha. Usually I say satisfaction guaranteed or your money cheerfully refunded. I can't say that with this course because of the hard costs of the shipping and stuff. So it's $97, and it's non-refundable, but I think you'll be very happy. And if you're not very happy, email us and we'll make you happy, or we'll do our best to make you happy. All right, so here's the third tool. You ready? I want you to think about something that's keeping you stuck, right? Whatever bubbles up in your mind when I say what's keeping you stuck, and maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's sorrow or anger or fury, resentment, the sense that life has passed you by, that it's too late. Maybe it's some old story, something that happened to you in the past that you kind of can't shake. So whatever it is that you think, okay, this is kind of what's keeping me stuck, or one thing that's keeping me stuck. And I want you to make some 5-minute art about it right now. And it's not even going to take us 5 minutes. It's going to take us like 30 seconds. I'll even do it with you. Let's see, where's a piece of paper? So if I think about what's keeping me stuck, well, one of the things that's kept me stuck is fear of visibility, which I know sounds weird, but because I was an actor and here I am on camera, and you'd think that I would be fine with that. But like a lot of you, I wasn't exactly a member of the Happy Childhood Club. And one of my special secret powers was turning invisible. Maybe you learned that too, that to turn invisible was an important survival skill. So sometimes the visibility that having a book or being a teacher or having your own business requires kind of freaks me out. So if I think about what's scary about being visible, so I'm just going to draw a picture of what it feels to me to be visible, like what that feels like. And you can do it for you too. Like what's the feeling? What's the feeling look like? What does heartbreak look like? What does loneliness look like? What does that story look like? And just stick figures is fine. And if you don't want to draw, you can make up a little song. You could do a little dance. You could get out your Sculpey clay, make some shapes. I just want, and it doesn't have to be good, and you never have to show it to anyone. All right, so I'm drawing this circle and all these arrows pointing to it, and maybe eyes, it makes me feel like I'm being eyeballed all the time. Hold on. So you do it too. Be making a little drawing, a little just doodle. Like, what does that feel like? What does it feel like? What does that feeling look like? What color is it? Right? Okay, so 20-second art. All right, so here's what I drew. This is what visibility feels like. And now I'm just gonna like process, because two things are happening. One, feelings just want to be felt. Feelings just want to be felt. Once a feeling knows it's been felt, it can get promoted and get a better job. So just allowing that fear to have a voice and to say, yeah, this is what it feels like. Like the fear is acknowledged, the feeling is acknowledged and seen. Also, having it on paper allows me to interact with it in a different way. Like I can see it and I can go, all right, I see the fear in it, but it also kind of looks to me like a sun. And if I think about visibility that way, like as a sun, so it's my job just to shine and give warmth like the sun, like in a natural way, not in a grabby way, but just in a natural way, because that's what the sun does, is it shines. Like that feels very lovely to me. Like, oh, that feels very warm and kind of comforting, right? So it allows me to interact with this information in a new way. I'd be interested to hear what you guys come up with. I'll tell you a few stories. One is I was doing an interview with a woman who had read the book, and she said, Cloud is asking, he's got a question about, can you do this after? It's not going to happen until after the webinar. Yeah, again, just email the team and say I was on the webinar and I had this problem, but yeah, they'll hook you up. Don't worry about it. So if you have any questions or any difficulties, just email the team. That's what they're there for, and they're brilliant, and we'll take care of you. We're not trying to deprive you of anything just because you have an issue with getting your credit card number in or something. It's not a trick. There's nothing bad is happening. So I was doing an interview with this woman who had read the book, a podcast interview, and she said she got to this thing about make some 5-minute art about it. And she was like, oh, that's an interesting exercise. I should totally do that. Whatever. Like we all do, right? Like, yeah, I should do that. That's a good idea. Well, the next day at work, because she still has her day job, she had a terrible day at work, like a really terrible day at work. And she came home really upset, and then saw the book on her desk and went, oh, I should make some 5-minute art about how upset I am. So she made this drawing of herself, just like a stick drawing of herself kneeling in the center and everybody else throwing rocks at her. That's how it had felt to her at work that day, that she was kneeling in the center and everybody else was throwing rocks at her. So first of all, again, just a really powerful image and a great way for her to let her own feelings know that they've been felt. Like, wow, I really do feel attacked. I really do feel alone. I really do feel exhausted and beat up. Like, okay, I've named it, right? And then she said she was inspired to make a second drawing, still with her kneeling in the center, still with everybody else around her, but with an invisible shield over her, which she said was God's love. She said she went into work the next day with a totally different attitude. Totally different attitude, because she walked in knowing that she was protected by the love of God. This story gives me chills, right? Tiny shift. 2 minutes with a piece of paper. Tiny shift. But you can imagine how going into work with the feeling of everyone is throwing rocks at me, what that career trajectory looks like. And you can imagine what it looks like to come in with the feeling of, I am protected by the love of God. Nothing can hurt me. Tiny shift, big difference, totally different outcome. It's amazing what this exercise can do. I had somebody else in my Creative Genius CEO, she drew her inner critic. She was getting a lot of those voices of who do you think you are and you're not good enough. So she drew her inner critic. And then was like, okay, great. Now I have this drawing. Now what? Like, I'm still scared of her. Like, great. But now you know what you're scared of, first of all. And you can start to interact with her in a different way. And maybe you could make a fairy story up about her, or an origin story, or you could make a mural, or do some dancing, or make up some songs, or I don't know, like keep working with it. And like I said, nobody ever has to see it, but I will tell you that the art that you make and share about what's happening for you helps me with what's happening for me. The art you make and share about your heartbreak or your loneliness or that horrible thing that happened to you in the third grade, that helps me with my loneliness and my heartbreak and that horrible thing that happened to me in the third grade, right? So, you might want to share it. Linda says, I came in late because of a life drama. I totally get it. Do you need a code to order? Nope. Just go to startrightwhereyouare.com / and just go to the one that says the workshop. There's a page that's the workshop and you can order from there. Or you can click on the order. I think there's an order thing floated here. Keisha says, by the way, I loved your interview with Michael Sandler and I'm so glad I found you. Thank you. I loved doing that interview with Michael. He was great. Patty says, I'm in. Woohoo. Elizabeth says, my thing is being seen too. Yeah, looking forward to overcoming that. Good. Thank you. Excellent. Linda says, I did this exercise once after a lot of resistance about it, and I really got an aha moment that I'd never had before. We'll do it again. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, like I said, this is quickly becoming my favorite exercise of anything I've ever done. It's incredibly powerful. I tell the story in the book about, and some of you were even there at the Big Yes a couple of years ago, which is the 3-day event that I've done. I had a woman raise her hand and she said, Sam, I hear you say all the time, make some art about it, and I don't really know what you mean. And I said, oh, good, great. If you were to make up a little song about how it feels to not know what I mean, how would that song go? And she goes, oh, I don't get it. 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 And the whole room just totally fell out, and I totally fell out, and she fell out. And then she goes, oh, I get it. I'm like, right. So and I love that story partly because it's just hilarious to me. But also I love how brave she was in asking the question, because that feeling that like everyone understands something that I'm not understanding, right? Everybody gets something that I'm not getting. Like that can ruin the session. It can ruin the afternoon. It can ruin the whole 3 days. Right? That's a very isolating and awful feeling. So that she was willing to ask and then willing to do it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And we were all able then to participate in that, right? Like, yes, I have that feeling too sometimes. I know how that is. And that's the third benefit of this, making some art about it, is it allows other people to participate with you in the feeling. Cheryl says, just did my drawing, also not a happy childhood, yes. And I'm kneeling saying, please don't hit me, I'll be good. Now I realize why I was afraid that asking for money for my services feels like begging. Thanks for everything, Sam. Oh, Cheryl, that's beautiful. What an incredible insight. Thank you for sharing that. I can feel there's a lot of people, I bet there's a lot of people nodding right now. There's a lot of people going like, yep, I feel that way too. I feel that way too. Good. Usha says, this is potent. Yes. Yeah, good. Carrie says, I'm in too. Yay. Majna, still not clear. Is it 97 or 97 plus $5.95 for shipping? I think it's 97 plus $5.95 for shipping. So it's like 102. You're right. Sorry. Renee says, just ordered. Thanks. The work is fabulous. Good. Martin says, good God, I've just ordered my first Sam Bennett course during a live webinar. Yay. Congratulations, Martin. That's excellent. Somebody else said something that I thought was really great. We were talking about being too busy. Claude Ame says, I find that every time I say I'm too busy, it turns out to be an excuse. And if I really want to do something, I find the time to schedule it in. Yeah, exactly. Deborah says, I've taken this course 3 times now and it's always new. I hope we'll be in a number 4. Great. Can't wait to see you there. Excellent. Good. Woohoo. I'm in. Yay. Oh, this is so great. Carol says, wow, my art has lightning bolts and alligators. Yeah. Fantastic. There's another story that I tell in the book that you guys can see on the Start Right Where You Are website, that has to do with Leonore. She's not here, so I'll tell it. But there was one time when she was talking about feeling email overwhelm. Leonore's responsible for a lot of things in my business and in other work that she does as well. And sometimes she feels so overwhelmed that then she shuts down. So now she feels overwhelmed and behind, and she's not doing anything, which makes her feel worse about being overwhelmed and behind. And when she shuts down or disappears, then I'm sitting here on the other side going like, where's my projects? Where's my stuff? What's happening? But she shut down, so I don't know. So this was happening at one point, and she had the presence of mind to say, oh, I should make some 5-minute art about this. So she went to her whiteboard and she made a little cartoon drawing, and she took a picture of it. She sent it, and it said, this is me as a sad border collie crying because she let all the little lambs drown. And it's this hilarious little cartoon drawing of this little dog with tears and these dead lambs in the pond. It's so sweet and so funny and so real. And it gave us a whole new way to talk about what was happening, because her, I'm sitting here going, where's my project? She's going, oh, no, I'm letting Sam down. But understanding no, what was keeping her paralyzed was her desire to do great work. Was her desire not to let anything slip through the cracks, was her desire to keep everyone safe and take care of everyone. And now we can start to talk about that in a whole nother way. A whole nother way. So this is the kinds of miracles that start to open up when you are able to process your feelings in a different way, and especially in a creative way, when you give them form and shape and creativity. And again, it can be a song, it can be a dance, it doesn't have to be a drawing. I just think drawing's easy. So yeah, keep playing around with this. Do it with other people. It's really, really fun and really illuminating. Deborah says, my fear is lack of energy, lots of fatigue from illness. Any thoughts on that? I need a lot of rest and getting better, balancing wanting and being able to be more productive and getting back to productivity after a few months of being too ill to be functional, starting and still rebuilding. Thank you so much for asking that, Deborah. I get a lot of questions like this, and there were a lot of people saying, I'm dealing with an illness, I have an illness, I have some kind of physical issue, or mental or emotional issue that's keeping me, from being as productive as I'd like. And what I want to invite you to is the perspective of, if nothing bad is happening, then what good is happening? Because from where I sit, you are in an amazing position because you cannot overwork. You physically are not able to overwork. You can't do that adrenaline game that other people get away with doing. You have to be incredibly strategic about the work you do and how you do it. You have to make sure that every time you output energy, you are getting, it's leverage, right? You put out a little bit, you get a ton back. You put out a little bit, you get a ton back. So you are being invited to be super smart and super relaxed and have what you do have a huge impact without costing you very much. How is that? I don't know yet. We'll figure it out, right? But the game is not, let me get back to how productive I used to be before I was sick in that same way. No, that ship has sailed. You're being asked to be productive in a whole different way, and in a way that looks very calm and not draining, but rather sustaining. We want to work in self-nourishing ways. We want to work in self-sustaining ways, not self-martyring ways. So that's your opportunity, and that's your invitation. And you are exactly the person to do it. You're exactly smart enough. You have exactly the resources. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And you can look to other, Frida Kahlo painted in bed when her back was bad. Who's the woman who wrote Seabiscuit? Laura Hildenbrandt, something like that. She's got chronic fatigue. She can only work like 20 minutes a day or something. And yet she's written a couple of best-selling books. So there are ways and there are ways. And so step one, get rid of the idea that it's supposed to be different than it is, and look for the opportunity. Look for the opportunity. Let's see. Terry says, I'm looking forward to getting out of the way of myself. Yay, me too. Linda says, I'm trying to order, but it's charged me $194. Is that right? Do you have it in twice? Change it, look and see how many, the frequency, and look and see if it says 1 or 2, because you might have 2 in there. Linda says, oh, I now know what to do with a coaching client that is stuck with the impossibility of letting go of stuff. She can do a 5-minute artwork and she's a painter about it. Oh, thank you. Yes. See? Yeah, that's Martin saying you probably added more than one item to your cart. Yep. Deborah says, wow, brilliant. I love it. I'm in tears of relief. And yes, this is also what I teach about radical self-care. Right. This is, of course, this is always what we're asked to what we teach is that which we are being asked to learn. So if any of you have insecurity of like, oh, how could I possibly teach a class on this when I haven't worked that out in my own life? You've been getting a PhD in it your whole life. And you just have that feeling that you don't, in the same way that PhD candidates, if you were a PhD candidate in 20th century French literature, everybody would say, oh, you must know everything about 20th century French literature. But you would say, oh no, I only know what I don't know. Like, I'm just beginning. I'm just scratching the surface. Right. And that's appropriate that you would feel that way as a scholar of the topic. But to the rest of us, you're an expert. So that's why people call you and you give them advice on the phone and you hang up the phone and go, I don't know why they call me about this because I don't know anything about it. Right. That's because it's what you're working on. So it's your invitation. You're an expert. Sue says, leveraging the energy really hits home for me. Thank you for the question and response. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Diane says, how to deal with multiple projects and not being able to start on any. Yeah, well, we cover that. That's kind of where the first class starts for Start Right Where You Are, is that how to start and how to prioritize question. I might suggest that you look at that list just offhand right now, and really tune into your desire. Like, give it a score, like on a scale of 1 to 10. How much do I want to do this? How much do I just feel like it right now? Not in like, over time, do I want to have a book published? Over time, do I want to have $1 million business? Over time, do I want to meet the perfect person? Sure. Like, I'm not saying you don't want those things, but right now, like, how much do you feel like having it right now? Because it may be that your desire just isn't very strong. Like, oh yeah, I've got a big project that I'd love to do that, and I keep sort of checking in with it. I keep sort of going like, do I want to do that right now? Nah, not right now. No, not never, just not right now. So that may be part of it, is you just honestly don't give a crap right now, right? There's something else that's pulling your attention. So I invite you to take a look at what that something else might be. Yeah, that's my advice to start out with anyway. But this is exactly what we deal with in Start Right Where You Are. So let's see. Linda says, I'm in. This is my Christmas present. Yay! As I came in late, I'm not even sure what the course is, but I trust you, Sam, to have amazing content. My first time to buy. Fantastic. Welcome. I'm so pleased. Yeah, so it's a 6-week online video class based on the work in Start Right Where You Are. You get 3 copies of the book. You get the course, you get this Mind PT meditation session, there's some other bonuses, and you also get a year in the 365 Club. And I sort of undersell this because it's an incredibly powerful group. It's called the 365 Club because the idea is that you have committed 15 minutes a day, every single day, 365 days a year, to the projects that matter most to you. So we're committing to just taking that little bit of time to plug in to the projects that light us up, that light you up, that make you happy, that bring you joy, that intrigue you. You spend all day getting everything done for everybody else, 15 minutes a day for you. So there's a Facebook group, there's a daily inspirational emails that you get, there's a monthly call with me, an open Q&A call. So you can always get your questions answered. Leonora and I are also on the Facebook group a lot, answering questions there. And it's a beautiful community. Just, you see how smart and funny and great everybody is on this chat. The people in the course are the same way. So there's a lot of, yay, or you hit a roadblock or have a hard time, and there's a lot of just support and cheerleading. Because, your family and friends don't always know what you're up to. Like, they don't always get it. And that's fine. They're not in your life to be your tribe. They're in your life to be your family and friends. That's a certain kind of tribe. But you need people in your life who get it, who get what you're up to, and who will encourage you and not buy your standard bullshit excuses and not let you get away with stuff, but rather hold you to the vision that you have for your life. Linda says, your pitch already has me in tears, so I made the right choice. Good. Excellent. Nothing like tears. Nothing like tears to cleanse the soul. Martin says, Linda, the courses are really good, and I'm a cynical old sod. He is a cynical old sod. No, you're not. He's great. Deborah, are the 6 teleclasses live? Yes, I do them live, so you can ask questions while they're happening, but then they're also, we post the recordings, so you can watch them anytime. Yeah, nothing like support from people who get you. Exactly. Exactly. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so these are the 3 of the if you're not going to do the course, that's totally fine, of course. And it's not for everyone. You know, I don't want this to be the kind of thing that you buy and don't do, you know, that sits on the shelf and makes you feel bad about yourself. I want this to be a really joyful opportunity. So I priced it as low as I could possibly price it. And I tried to set it up so as to be easy and fun and ongoing. So that 365 Club is all year. So it's not like, 6 weeks and then bye. You get a whole year of support from me and from the community. I was gonna say, if you don't want to do this, you know, of course, don't do it. But if you're looking for other ways to express your love for me, you can write a review of the book on Amazon or on Goodreads. Those reviews are priceless. I can't even tell you. And if you don't want to write one for me, just write one for somebody. Write one for an author you love, because you know, everybody says publishing is dead. It's not true. Publishing is better and more successful than it's ever been. There are more books being published. Independent bookstores are doing better than they've ever done. More people are buying more books. It's a beautiful time to be a writer. But it can be hard to get heard through the marketplace, and those peer reviews are gold. So, you know, if you're looking for fun, write a review, and be honest. You know, I'm not looking for, yeah. Good. So breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Anytime your mind starts racing, anytime you start to feel stressed out, anytime you start feeling like maybe something bad is happening, do that 4, 7, 8 breathing. Do it once, do it 3 times, do it 10 times. And if you don't like that, then keep experimenting until you find a breathing pattern that does work for you, right? But breathing, intentional breathing, it's the foundation of everything. If you have a meditation practice, add that in. I think you'll be amazed at the result. The second tool, nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. And even in moments like this, when really nothing bad is happening, like I'm having this great conversation with you guys, people are jumping into the chorus. That makes me happy. I love talking about this stuff with you all. It's a beautiful day outside. I can see the mountains and the birds, and there's an egret in the salt marsh across the way. Like nothing bad is happening. Everything's fantastic. So sometimes the phrase "nothing bad is happening" can really underline how wonderful things are. Diane says, can't spend the money for the course right now, but I'll post a review of your outstanding book on Goodreads today. Thanks. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Claude Emmy says, there is something I really like that you wrote in Get It Done that helps when I wonder about my talents. Talent is the price of admission, kid. I wrote it in the cover of my book, and I keep looking at it, and it helps. Yeah, of course you're talented. Of course you're talented. It's one of the challenges of working with creative people is how high our expectations are, you know, and how big our dreams are. I think sometimes we have that feeling of like, you know, the minute you have an idea to do something, you immediately compare yourself to the best of all total time. Right. So like, you know, if you want to succeed in an insurance company, you don't have to think like, can I be the best insurance company salesman in the universe? Like of ever? Like, no, just can I be better than Walter down the hall? You know, can I be the best in this floor? Can I be best in this region? Right. That's sufficiently best. Can I make it to the President's Club? But we are like, I want to make a mobile. But am I Alexander Calder? You know, am I that good? You know, I want to write some poetry, but I'll never be as good as Mary Oliver. No, you won't. Neither will I. Guess what? Because only Mary Oliver is Mary Oliver. Only Alexander Calder is Alexander Calder. Only Miro is Miro. Only, you know, like, no, you're not going to be those people. But that doesn't mean that what you have to offer isn't valuable. It's all been said before, but not by you. And you may notice that the work that matters most to you in your life, the books you love most, the movies you love most, the music you love most, the art that comforts you and gives you solace and inspires you, is not always the best art in the world. The movies I love most are not the best art. I was on a podcast interview the other day, and this woman said something about America's Next Top Model, and I was like, oh, I'm so busted because I love America's Next Top Model. It's the trashiest show, but I love it. I think because I like shows about women and girls, but you know, is it the best show out there? No, of course not. Of course not. And you love stuff that's not the best too. So your work doesn't have to be the best in order to have a huge impact on the people who need it and on your own self. Right? So yeah, talent's the price of admission. Of course you're talented. If you've got the inclination on your heart, if you've got the idea, that's it. That's your engraved invitation. That's all you're going to get. There isn't like, it doesn't always come with trumpets and angels dropping like, da, 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 this is your $1 million idea. Da, 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 da. That doesn't happen. All you get is that little thought. Like, maybe I could. I wonder if I could. And believe me, if you have the thought, you can. If you see the opportunity, it's because you're ready for the opportunity. If you weren't ready, you would never even see it. If this class weren't a good fit for you, you wouldn't be on this webinar. You wouldn't be watching this. You can still say no to it. I'm not saying you have to sign up. Of course not. But you're ready. You're ready. And the other thing about this, like, you're a terrible judge of your own talent. You may have noticed that. You're a terrible judge of your own work. And you're a terrible judge of your own readiness. Because it's like how you can't hear your own voice. You're your own resonator. You can't experience your talent. You can't experience your readiness from the outside. You've never flirted with yourself, right? You don't know what it's like to be on the receiving end of your energy. So to leave that judgment then to others. It's not your job to judge whether or not you're ready. It's not your job to judge whether or not your work is good. It's just your job to show up and do the work. Show up, do the work. Show up, do the work. Show up, do the work. That's it. That's it. Let everybody else make their decisions. Good. So I want to check in and make sure there aren't any other questions that are going unanswered. But if you guys are feeling complete, I don't want to keep you, tied to the computer for longer than I have to. My friend Bill Barron does these where he answers questions for like 4 hours. I'm like, how do you do that? Good. Any other questions? I'm so pleased to welcome you all into this course. It's going to be great. If you have friends, you can recommend it to your friends. It makes a great present for other people. There's nothing about the Start Right Where You Are process that asks you to believe anything or be any different than you are or change your life. It just asks you to consider the fact that a tiny, tiny shift can lead to big joy. That a tiny, tiny shift in your way of thinking, in your way of approaching your life can get you the same journey that I was on. I mean, I was broke and miserable and crying on a couch in Sherman Oaks, California with no air conditioning. And, I was just looking at a Social Security thing I got the other day. I never cracked $20,000 my entire adult life. Like, I was broke. And in just a few short years, I published 2 books traditionally, 7 books total, or 5 books total. The organized artist company's in the mid 6 figures. I live by the beach. My life is very beautiful. It's not easy. Like, I work hard and crap happens, all the time. But I'm not as self-punishing as I used to be. And I'm a lot more welcoming of miracles. And I notice miracles happening a lot more. Good. She said she's feeling complete. Great. Catherine says, I needed to hear this. I'm a terrible judge of my readiness. Yes, you're a terrible judge of your readiness. Good. Nikki says, I'm trying to log on to the membership site, wondering when the course starts. It starts next Wednesday, the 7th of December at 10 a.m. Keisha says, besides your books, what other books are some of your favorite go-to resources? We mentioned Byron Katie earlier, The Work. You can go to thework.com. I love Byron Katie. I've mentored under David Nagel. He's been a big influence on me. Seth Godin, absolutely. My hero, Seth Godin, Godin. Yeah, those are a few that I really love. Cosmo said, found you by Nicole Peterman. So glad I did. Oh, I'm so glad you did too. I love Nicole. That was a fun interview too. She's great. Right? Says, I'm feeling very excited about this already. Beginning to visualize myself getting unstuck. Good, good. Keisha says, I do plan to read both your books. Great. I'm thrilled. And start right where you are. Like I said, it's a lot of really short chapters, like a page or two. So you can like pick it up. Look, here's one that's less than a page. So you can like pick it up, read a little bit and put it down. Like it's not, doesn't have to be War and Peace here. Good. Deborah says, this is exactly what I needed today. I'm so glad. Jane says, I'm used to being the odd creative in my math and business family, Asian, and feel that. Yeah, you're not, your family is in your family to love you, but they're not going to understand what you do any more than you understand what they do. Usha says, I'm so glad you're in my world, Sam. I'm so glad you're in my world, Usha. I love you. Mwah. Cosmo says, Jane, God bless you, gal. I taught in China. Pressures from Asian families can be tough. Yeah, pressures from all families can be tough. Let me tell you. They know, how do they know where your buttons are? Because they installed them. Serenity says, had a few freezes. Is 5-minute art the third thing? Yes. So breathing, 4, 7, 8 breathing. Nothing bad is happening. Make some 5-minute art about it. I'm telling you, those 3 tools alone can change everything. Jane says, most people think my experiences are extremely dumb and weird, but have heartfelt insight into abuse on personal, family, global level, but no confident that writing my experiences would interest anyone else, since everyone I encounter thinks I'm outside of normal sensitivities. Right. So those people that you're talking to are not your ideal clients. Those people that you're talking to are not your ideal clients. So if it's on your heart to do this work, then just start doing the work. The people who need it will find you. Right? And don't let the judgment of some imaginary person who's imaginarily disapproving of some project you haven't even started with keep you stuck. If you're going to imagine someone who loves what you're doing. Imagine someone who needs to hear what you're doing. Yeah. Don't talk to the wrong people. Don't go to the empty cookie jar, right? Don't try to get support from people who can't support you. Allison says, thank you so much. I have to leave now. Love my 5-minute art. It's given me a new idea. Terrific. Cosmo says, Jane, please write that book, right? Gael says, I actually feel like a burden has been lifted already. Right. See, this is what I'm telling you. Little shift, big difference. Did we do anything? Did we lift weights? Have we, built Rome in a day? No, but there's a shift. And you carry that shift into your next encounter, and you make contact with the person at the grocery store, and you published a little bit of your work on Facebook, just 2 paragraphs, and things change and things change and things change. And the next thing you know, things have changed in a way that feels great to you. Michelle says, can you review the 5-minute art again? It froze on me during that segment. You know what? Actually, if you go to startrightwhereyouare.com, I think there's a little video of me talking about make some 5-minute art that should bring you up to speed. And if for some reason you don't, then just email me and I'll answer your question. Jane says, many thanks. My new president won't like my work, but thank you. Yeah, I like it. Carol says, thank you for speaking in the language I think in. You are a rare gem. Oh, thank you. Laura says, thanks for mentioning that you never made more than 20K in your adult life. It gives me hope for myself. Yeah, for sure. Claude Amy says, I'd like to send you a real Christmas card by snail mail. Do you have a street address where I could send it? Yes, if you go to theorganizedartistcompany.com, theorganizedartistcompany.com, all the way spelled out, and go to the Contact Us page. There's a street address there. Keisha says, love what you said. Don't go to the empty cookie jar. Yeah, don't go to the empty cookie jar. Those people love you, but they're not capable of supporting you. So don't look for support from them. Just love them. And if people try to talk to you, just change the subject. Ask them about them. That always works. Cheryl says, and I can't not know what I see now. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the truth. The truth is relaxing, and you can't unknow it. You can't unknow the truth. So once you get it, it's yours forever. It's yours forever. And the shift we're really talking about making is that difference between I know and understand things in my mind, like I've read the self-help books, I've done the workshops, I understand theoretically how to be happy or how to be more productive, but I'm not seeing the results in my life. It's like you've been reading about swimming, right? You can read about swimming forever, but it has nothing to do with what happens once you get in the pool. This course is about getting in the pool. Diane says, I'm in. I love cookies. Yay. Deborah says, LOL, I can't believe you have a roast chicken website on your roast chicken recipe on your website. I'm going to try it. Yes, it's one of the bonuses to the course is getting my recipe for roast chicken. I got to tell you, it's really good. Bless you, dear Samantha. See you next week. I'm delighted. So sign up, get 3 copies of the book mailed directly to your home or place of business. You get 6 weeks in the course with me live like this, interacting, and also the recordings, and also the Mind PT meditation app thing. That's so articulate of me. The Mind PT program, and a year in the 365 Club, which is also a monthly open Q&A coaching call with me. So if you have any questions or are concerned about anything, please email me or the team. And if this is resonating with you, I would love to have you in this course. Cheryl says, I raised my fees last night after seeing that a recent student is now charging more than I was. Yes, exactly. Patty says, I'm so ready for this. I read and read, learn and learn, but never do. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Martin says, thanks for this. Thank you. Gail says, what you said about this course is about really getting in the pool really resonates with me, scaredy cat that I am. Yeah, so let's just reframe that. It's a very warm pool. It's salt water. There's no chlorine. Like, it's really lovely. And there are other people in the pool who need you. They need you there. They need you there. Good. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in, because I don't want to leave you hanging, and it drives me nuts when I'm like, okay, and we're wrapping up, and then I close it out, and then like 3 more questions pop up, because there's a little bit of a delay between when I talk and when you write and when I see it. So I'm going to stall for just a minute to make sure that nobody's got anything on their heart that's going to bother them if it doesn't get answered. Martin says, Gail, if you're here, you have courage. That's exactly right. Margarita says, totally understand what you mean by getting in the pool. After 20 years in fashion, I'm developing my own line and feel I know nothing. Every day is a learning experience. Thank you for your insights. Yeah. So again, where's the opportunity in feeling like you don't know anything? You know, what's the opportunity in beginner's mind? And what's true, because you don't not, after 20 years in fashion, you don't not know nothing. You just don't know this, right? Diane says, are you at Omen Garden tomorrow? Yes, I'm at Omen Garden in Sherman Oaks tomorrow, so you can come at 1 o'clock. It's a $25, because it's a workshop that they're holding, so it's $25, but they're having a party afterwards, so you can have wine and snacks and treats afterwards. So if you're in the LA area, please come to Sherman Oaks tomorrow at Omen Garden, AUM and Garden. It's also, if you go to startrightwhereyouare.com, there's a events page there. Good. Anything else? Anything else, Anya? Let's do a little breathing just to close this circle out. I'm delighted to welcome you all into the Start Right Where You Are course. And if you're not taking the course, then I'm delighted to welcome you into whatever your future holds for you. And I hope these tools, the 4-6-4-7-8 breathing, nothing bad is happening, make some 5-minute art about it, have been useful for you and continue to be. And please let me know how it goes for you. I'm so curious, right? I love to hear stories. So let's do one more round of breathing just to close out this circle and acknowledge this time. I'm so proud of you that you took this time for yourself, for your creativity, for that which matters most to you. You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for doing this with me.